Okay, I call this meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is the introduction of our new town council liaison. Do you want to do that, John?
Yeah, Trish Clunan represents Ward 7. She's right here. She's been on council since 2020.
And I'm sorry, I'm staying off screen. I said at the beginning, I am in the middle of a chemotherapy treatment for my face, and it's sometimes scares me looking at myself in the mirror. So,
Oh, okay.
so hopefully a couple more weeks and I'll be somewhat back to normal.
Okay.
But I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the welcome.
Well, welcome.
Happy to have you here.
The first thing on the agenda is the election of the chair. So I will say I have been the chair of the organization for 4 years now, since its inception. And I feel that it's time for somebody else to take over. So I will not accept a nomination to do it again. So I would be willing to make a nomination, but
Please do so.
Abby.
Second that.
I would like to put my own name in for nomination because I feel that Abby is qualified to reap the benefits of the funding that's available for an actual coordinator. And I don't think you can do that as an officer.
I did have that question.
John, what are your thoughts?
I will have to get with the attorney to discuss that a little bit.
Okay.
I know that was one of Bob's questions too, and we've been discussing that over the past few months. So,
I mean,
Yeah.
Abby, I'm to be honest with you, Abby, I'm fine with you being the chair, but I'd like to lend my capabilities to the group.
Sure. Yeah, John and Bob and I had a conversation. When was that? That was a while back, probably October, November. And then we sort of just haven't really picked up that conversation since then. So I do plan on following up with them this month. But I don't have an answer as to whether that portion of what I've offered is going to go forward. So
Then Diane, I'd like to make a motion that we postpone the election for a month and let's get that, let's figure this out, because I don't want Abby to go without being paid if she can be paid, because she does way more than the normal people. And if you would be willing to stay on as an interim chair, I think it would make sense.
Would it be possible if we do the election and we would vote Abby in and nominate John as the vice chair, then if Abby is not able to serve?
That
Then
makes
John.
sense. And can we clarify this whole issue a little bit? I think we're talking about this coordinator, and I've heard some of this and not all of it. Is it such that the coordinator role may be a paid position and that's still being debated within council? And
so it's ultimately going. I'm sorry.
There's been money set aside.
Okay, in the new budget.
It's been available in the previous budgets for monies to pay a coordinator. Carolyn Keller.
I'm very unfamiliar with this, Joe.
Okay, so there's a few $100s in the budget,
Right.
For basically it's called consultant, and Carolyn Keller served as the consultant for a while now. She mostly volunteers her time when she's working with the center, and basically Abby has sort of taken on the role as lead volunteer when Dick Schnupp, who's sort of our previous lead volunteer, stepped down. And basically to run the place, particularly volunteer coordination, collection coordinator, it takes an awful lot of time that I don't have and other volunteers don't really have. So Abby is sort of taking that on. And Bob and I have sort of been discussing the possibility of her taking that consulting money in exchange for her time.
And I think we should say too, that money has just kind of been sitting, it's been in the budget since the inception of the Heritage Center. Like I said, like John said, I was the consultant for a while, especially on the core documents, but we haven't used it, I believe, in 3 or 4 years. And so this is an opportunity to really give Abby or whoever would be willing to take on that role to step up and create just some better policies and procedures and help operations go more smoothly so that we can do more as the Heritage Center and just promoting the history of the area.
And my
Okay.
proposal to John and Bob was more of like, these are the projects, something similar to what Carolyn did too, where she said, you know, these are the projects that I would consider consulting paid work. And then these are the things that I am going to volunteer my time for. So it wouldn't be that every time I step foot in the door at the Heritage Center, I was going to be paid for it. But I had proposed revising the volunteer manual, the handbook, policies and procedures. We've been working on accessioning items again. So just kind of redoing that so everyone's on the same page, because we have a lot of new volunteers within the past couple years too, that were never formally trained or given a handbook, or I made an application for new volunteers to even let them tell us what their interests may be and how they can bring their talents to us. So it wouldn't be like just a blanketed, like I'm a salary employee. It would be more like a consultant, like Carolyn was, where you just work on specific projects. And I would still volunteer my time for the other things that I do.
And that's something that, John, you're still dealing with the attorney to see if this arrangement is.
I mean, the actual
acceptable.
arrangement is like, as far as consulting fees, should be pretty cut and dry at the end of the day. But I think it's really just, can Abby serve even on this committee in a formal capacity if she's
Right.
doing that?
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, too, the only difference really would be that, you know, whoever's on this committee versus a regular volunteer, they can't vote. Obviously, our committee meetings have always been, you know, open to the public, and many other volunteers have participated in the past. So, you know,
Is there a timeline for that discussion, or is it kind of open-ended?
Yeah,
it's
but
been
I think-
open-ended, but we can
I think
put a
that's
timeline
why
on it.
I wanted to postpone this for a month,
Hmm.
so we could get clarification. But, you know, to Diane's point, if you guys want to take a vote now contingent upon what the lawyers have to say, I'm fine with that.
I didn't know if our bylaws were such that we had to vote a new chair and vice chair today. Is that?
Well, I think that we have a chair that's outgoing, and she clearly expressed her desire to pass the torch. You know, whether or not we do it today is pretty much up to Diane, because as long as the chair is open, at least Robert's rules, if the chair is open, she retains it until such time as we vote in a chair. So my thing is, let's take a vote. I mean, let's take the nominations, take the vote. And if we find out that something has to be done differently, we'll address it at that time. We're all reasonable people here. This isn't, you know, we're not gonna spend any money on politicking on this one.
John, does that plan sound adequate for you?
I have no problem with it. That puts a deadline on, so we can at least get an answer in a timely manner.
That's
Maybe
true.
that would help, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So
Joe,
Diane, you made a motion that was seconded by Dan Coyle.
Yes.
And if I can
Abby
state too,
accepts that nomination.
Yes.
and I also served as vice chair for the first 2 years. And I think Abby, you were vice chair last year. And I would certainly like others to serve as well. I mean, not that I would say vote me in. I'm just saying others, please serve.
Well, Kevin, I mean, I've made it very plain that I'd like to serve in a manner of leadership here.
Well-
I nominate Joe Wall as vice chair.
Well, I think we already have a motion. Oh, don't we
Oh,
have
do
to
we-
vote on the motion?
Yeah, you have to vote. You have to vote on the
On the
motion.
floor?
Time.
yeah, we have to do chair first, make a definitive vote, and then we would move on to vice chair.
I'm still
Okay.
rusty on the rules. I'm sorry.
All in favor of Abby?
Okay, let's take a vote. All those in favor of Abby as the new chair of the committee, say
Aye.
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 Is that all
Any-
6 of you?
Do we have anyone opposed?
Congratulations, Abby.
Yay.
Give them hell,
Yeah.
kid.
It's Coronation Day.
Okay, I'm turning over the gavel. You're on, Abby.
Oh, it starts now. Okay, well, you may need to help me, John, lead through this formality process because you know I'm not very good at all that. But okay, I would like to make a motion to elect Joe Wall as vice chair of the committee.
Second,
Shall we vote?
Yes, you have to
Call
call
the
for a
question.
vote.
Joe, do you
Call-
accept this nomination?
I do accept this nomination.
Okay.
I'll call the
And-
question.
Say that again?
I'll call the question, which means we'll vote.
Oh,
Okay,
I'll write that down. I don't know that one. Let's vote. Aye. All in favor of Joe Wall as the vice chair, say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay. I accept. Thank you.
Okay. There are no other positions?
Okay, technically there's a treasurer. That's what Dick Schnupp held for a long time. But
Mhm.
again, that's kind of like a formality position because ultimately the town's finance department's keeping track of all the numbers.
Okay.
So, I mean, we
I
could.
nominate Dan Coyne to
Okay,
be the treasurer.
let's do that. Is everyone comfortable doing it?
Dan, do you?
I second it.
I'll accept it.
Okay.
All right.
My wife will be very surprised if I'm in charge of money. but Yeah.
oh no,
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Congratulations, Dan.
Thanks.
So Abby, do you have a copy of the agenda on you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, because otherwise it'd be very hard to run the meeting.
Yes. I am prepared in that way.
All
today.
right, go for it.
Okay, so approval of the minutes from our last meeting, which was in November. Did everyone have a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Any
Yes.
changes?
no,
No.
Okay. Called to approve the minutes from our November meeting.
Aye.
aye,
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay. Upcoming and future events. This Saturday, we are going to be taking down all the Christmas decorations. We've got probably 5 or 6 volunteers who are willing to come in on Saturday. So that should be plenty of people. It's always faster to put it back in a box than it is to put it up for display. So we'll leave the cases empty for a little while. Suzanne and Georgette and I will be meeting to go over what our plan is for reopening in March. We're doing that hat and accessories exhibition for our reopening in March. We just got Mary Jo Neff donated about 8 hats last week. And we have probably 15 to 20 hats already in our collection. I know Cheryl's bringing hats. I have a dozen hats to bring. So
How many
if-
men's hats, Abby?
not as many, if maybe a handful.
I have 4 that I utilize. Yes.
Okay. If you would
And
like.
they're
to
not
loan-
baseball hats either. They're formal
Yeah,
men's.
Okay. Yeah, if you'd like to loan them, if you could drop them off, maybe on Saturday while we're there. So we could fill out the appropriate paperwork, that would be great. Yeah, we have maybe 5 men's hats, but they're harder
We
to
want
come
this-
by than ladies.
We want this to be vintage though, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, one of my hats, Dan, is a bowler.
Okay,
Oh.
nice show. Nice.
That's good.
And you know, I just bought. Tammy's son got married in December, and I bought the bowler specifically for the wedding.
All right.
So it looks like it's old world. It looks like it's vintage, but it's brand new.
Joe, I love hats. Everybody thinks these days you're trying to put on airs when you put a hat on. So yeah, but I do. I love hats. I got a few of my own, but
Listen, I was born too late. That's what.
So that's what we've got coming up.
Are there, may I ask, are there any special events going with this display?
We haven't gotten that far yet. Do you have any ideas?
I'm just thinking, like, I go to Kentucky every year in April and hit the races. And so I see a lot of hats. But one thing I've done for my daughter is one of my girls' birthday parties. We did a tea party, and one of the crafts was decorate your own hat. for
Okay.
all the little girls. I got some cheap hats, and we
That's
did a
fun.
little decorating thing. And you could do something with the boys too, getting, some straw derbies.
Trish, I thought you were going to recommend a mint julep party for the Derby.
That's like number 2, Joe.
That's for the adults.
I've got a great recipe for a Kentucky bourbon pie, and I can make a mean mint julep. So I'm right there with you.
You know what? That goes along with one of the events that I'm going to talk about here. So,
Abby, I don't mean to jump in, but when do we do the sort of the 5th anniversary deal? I know it's May is the 5th anniversary, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know that did we pick a date? I'm looking at the calendar.
It likely might be May 21st.
oh, geez.
May 21st.
Yeah.
May 20th was the day that I picked to do the golf outing at North Park.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
We're and I can talk about that in further detail, but we've developed a budget and we've developed a process. So, let me know when it's my turn.
Can you combine them?
Yeah, why couldn't it be a 2-day celebration?
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Okay. Because I think that makes more sense than doing it one thing on the 20th and then maybe waiting until the next week. The next Saturday would be the 28th. I think we should just say it's so big that we're doing it in 2 days.
Well, the 21st of May is also our 4th Day. So it may lend us to be able to do some things inside the center that day that we can attract some people that normally wouldn't come into the center.
That's not Mother's Day weekend, is it?
No.
No.
Mother's Day is Sunday the 8th.
Okay.
To say, I hope I'm not speaking out of order here either, but I was thinking I'd love to get something filmed and put on PCN for the 5th anniversary. I think it'd be great to have, they do that. They have little walk through a museum someplace in Pennsylvania, and they'll have somebody narrating. I think it'd be great if we could put together some sort of a walkthrough, especially on the 5th anniversary. Yeah.
PCN will do that themselves.
Will they come out with their crew?
Yeah. Because
okay.
they have local crews, like they have a crew that's stationed on Camp Horn Road.
Oh, okay. I did not realize that. Oh.
And they have crews that they deal with all over the Commonwealth. I mean, they even broadcast high school football games too.
Okay. Well, I would think it'd be great if we could put something together for the 5th anniversary and have them come in and put that out on PCN.
Well, now would be the time for us to start doing that and start working and making it a bigger event than what we're used to. I mean, whether we can get maybe the North Allegheny band, because Joe Bullock was involved. Maybe we can get, maybe we can make this a bigger event and get like one of those stages and put it in the parking lot that they utilize for the St. Alexis Fair, and make this just a carnival event for the weekend.
Amy, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I just was this is from before, but I just wanted a little bit of clarification on the accessories to go with the hats. I have some vintage purses. I might have some gloves. Do you want like the pocket watches back that we had brought in before, or tie clips? I don't know how far we're rippling out. What kind of accessories are you thinking? Or hat pins or scarf clips, or I don't know.
Abby, you're on mute.
I think we could do all that, you know, it'll be basically hats, but you can display the other things with them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't go as far with like the watches or things like that, but like a
We
tie
just did
clip
that.
would be
Yeah.
really nice.
A hat
Gloves.
pin.
Handkerchiefs.
Love
I have my
handkerchief.
grandmother's embroidered handkerchiefs. and
Yeah.
things like that.
I
Yeah.
normally
some-
wear bow ties too.
bow ties, sure. Kind
Yeah, I
of
have some
just
cool
the general
purses,
idea
too.
was like things that people don't commonly wear anymore. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you used to have to wear a hat every week to church or a handkerchief on your head or something like
Just
that.
donate my wardrobe.
What's that?
I'll just donate my wardrobe.
Okay,
Even
bring
if-
it over.
I think
It's
I
all-
even have a leisure suit in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Joe-
but I do like the
Joe
idea
dresses Victorian all the time.
of making your own hat. I know one of our volunteers has taken a millinery class, and she had a form to make like your own straw hat. So she could even maybe do a demonstration. Obviously, she's not a professional, but do some sort of demonstration and make it more about the history of like how hats are
His-
made.
History of haberdashery.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. So, okay.
So what is the time on Saturday that we can drop our stuff off, Abby?
We plan to get there at noon on Saturday to take things down.
Okay,
So it should take a couple hours.
all right. I have some really cool purses that my grandma had, so
Oh,
I'll bring
great.
those in.
Okay.
What is the date then for the hat event? Or-
That will be for our reopening exhibition when we reopen March 9th.
Everything okay?
Is there anything as far as maintenance that we need to do inside of the center that we're going to be closed for a month? I mean, do we need to do anything as far as do a deep clean? Do we need to do anything as far as general maintenance?
We have a
Yeah.
cabinet that doesn't light up.
Oh,
Mm.
really?
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, you know, it would be a good time for us to do this during the month that it's closed.
Yeah.
It would be really awesome to switch those two downstairs rooms, get that furniture,
Mm,
the spare cases out of that room, because that room is the better room by far for storing items on loan as we're collecting them, and then after we take them down while we're waiting for them to get picked
Yeah,
up. We've
good
been
point.
using the other room, and that's not acceptable really. So we need
Yeah.
to maybe get Public Works folks to help us, even as we're putting away the Christmas items, don't put them back in that other room so we can have that empty. Move those other mannequins and shelving units into the room with the water and the furnace and all of that. And then we'll move the other things, tables or whatever we're going to use for, the borrowed items in that safer room.
Okay.
It'd be
That's a
awesome to
great
get
idea.
that done.
I will. John, can you ask Public Works when
Yeah.
you and I can get together on?
Yeah, let's just get a definitive list of a few things, like, which cabinet doesn't light up, discuss the finer points of the room and see if there's anything else, and they'll definitely have time to do it within the next month and a half.
I meant not necessarily for Public Works, but for us to do it if at all possible.
A lot of those fixtures in that room downstairs are enormous. Like it
Okay.
would take a couple people. And some of them honestly could probably be disposed of or moved elsewhere.
Are you talking cabinets or?
Yeah, there's a fixture in that small room that I think is meant for holding like greeting cards or something. It's kind of like a slat wall thing.
Yeah.
And we just, so, I mean, we don't have to talk about that at this moment, but there are some things in the basement that I think
I
are
agree.
taking up
There's,
space.
yes.
There's some apparel things down there too that could be stored away
Right.
that will never be displayed. Okay.
On the
In
subject
the
of-
early days, we were scrounging anything we could get for nothing.
Oh, sure.
You know, and we've upgraded as we've gone. So now some of those other things can, you know,
Certainly,
like
I
I said,
understand.
so evaluate what should go and then have John coordinate with Public Works. And
What you
In
need
terms
to
of other
do though is
things
get
that-
work committees set up.
Yeah.
If
Right.
we're gonna
In terms
have
of
all
other
that
things
done.
that, oh, sorry, Sue.
No, that's okay. I'm done.
No, I was gonna say in terms of other things that we might need on the floor of the exhibits, I don't know what we are planning on installing. I know we have that painting of the McCandless family
Oh,
Um,
that's,
that we're gonna want to get up. So I think that might be something to evaluate too, is what do we have that we really want to bring up that's gonna be on more permanent display besides just the hats and everything else. So
Carolyn, was that a gift or was that a loan?
I believe that was a donation, John.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And that
It's
might
an
be something that
it's an
involves-
impressive piece. It's a very,
Right, and that might be something that involves Public Works as well, because I know they help us with some of the heavier installation pieces too.
Yeah, there's gonna be several people to have to hang that picture.
hi, Mr. Cordick.
Hello, I've been having computer problems today and they persist. I just got back from another meeting, so I've been trying to get on. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Toby.
Abby, do you have any other special events that you want to talk about?
Not for the immediate future. No,
Okay.
but if you want to talk about your golf outing plans, that would be
I'm
great.
so excited about the golf outing. I just can't. We've made arrangements to get the par 3 on the 20th, which is a Friday, the 20th of May. It will be from 8 until 11 p.m. There are 36 golfers capable. We're going to have 4 golfers on each hole. The dinner will be at Tomato Pie and will be partially underwritten by Tomato Pie, which is owned by the people that own Rico's. We have 9 hole sponsors that we're going to approach. We've done the budget. We're going to charge $100 a golfer. And with that, they get a door prize from a sponsor, and they get a gift from the proceeds of the tournament. So the tee sponsors are $300 a piece. They'll bring in $2,700. The golfers themselves will bring in $3,600. The golf course is going to cost us $750 for the evening. The food will be $1,000. And then there will be $1,000 in gifts. So we're looking at a profit of about $3,500 for about 6 hours, which is pretty good. And it's something that is so compacted that we can do one in the spring. And if it is as well received as I think it will be, we can do one in the fall.
When would we open up registration for this?
We would open registration probably sometime in March.
Okay.
I want to do it about 8 weeks ahead of time. 36 positions for a golf outing, especially since, we're going to be contacting businesses. And I'm, pretty much I can handle getting 36 people signed up to golf. Okay. I've already spoken with Rico and his sons. I've already spoken with the people at the golf course. I've spoken with Dick's Sporting Goods that they're going to sponsor one gift per golfer. It should be a really, really nice evening.
Great.
What is the time again?
Well, it's on May 20th. It's a Friday. Dinner will be at 6:30 at Tomato Pie. And then the golfing starts at 8 o'clock.
Is there any way that we can have sort of, I mean, do you have a contingency if it rains or something like that to do it the following day or something?
We
or-
can do it the following day. We can do it the following week.
Okay.
It's up to us pretty much because we're renting the course. And if you have noticed that we're paying the $750 pretty much so they turn on the lights.
Yeah. It's just more a matter of like if we get inclement weather that we don't have the money laying out there, we can recoup it with a follow-up
Right.
date. Yeah. Okay.
And how would we accept payment for this? Would people have to take cash or check to town
Well,
hall?
that's one thing I was gonna ask John, if we have to accept donations through the through the FDPC,
Mhm.
you know, we can take checks through the FDPC. Is that correct, John?
So for any time we've done like a paid event like this, we've basically used town hall as the cash register, and all the checks that we made out to
Yeah.
town of McCandless.
Yeah.
And they would be put into this special, budget fund number where we accept donations.
Hey, Trish, are you gonna be in my foursome?
If you really want me there, but I was gonna say, I love the idea and it sounds like you've done a lot of work. Just reminder to make sure this goes in front of council for a council nod of approval before you
Okay.
spend anything further, any further time or funds.
Okay, well, we haven't expended any funds at this level, and I
Right.
actually have to get a vote from this committee to approve it before I can send it to council.
Exactly. And I think I agree with John from what everything I've seen running some events with the AAC, everything does have to go through the town. We don't have the capability on our website at this point to accept anything virtually. So it has to be actual pieces of paper checks.
I'd really like to get everybody's buy-in on this, and I'd really like to get everybody's participation, whether you show up and eat spaghetti and meatballs, or, you show up at the course to cheer people on, or you participate. I think this is a great community building event, and I think it's something that we've needed as far as generating much needed funding for our programs. By the way, I did want to mention also, Abby, that I have $450 to donate to the Heritage Center from my presentations
Oh, that's right.
for the football program.
That's wonderful. That's great.
John, I'll send you the check.
Okay, absolutely.
Just one other question there. Joe, do you feel that we need to do some broader communications on the event? Or you had mentioned, I think I can fill 36 seats. Do we want to?
Kevin, I can fill 30. I can fill 36 seats with this with a couple phone calls. Okay, and 36 is about the maximum that you can put on a par 3 course.
And I think
It would be
to
worth the
the-
effort. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carolyn.
No, I was gonna say, I think it's worth the effort of putting it out because it's communication to the broader McCandless community of that the center is active. So while it's okay if it gets filled, that'll just show there's an increased demand if we have other people who want to register.
Well,
And like you said, there's an opportunity of doing it in the fall too. Then that gives us
I
more
get that
opportunity.
too, but for our purposes here, I want to make sure that I have buy-in from this group. And to Trish's point, we put it in front of council and make sure that we get their blessing as well.
And I would like to say, in terms of putting word out there for folks, to really see a concerted effort to get people of a diverse group, not just folks that graduated a certain year from NA. And that's one of the things I've seen happen in this town often is the same. We have this community of 28,000 people and the same 100 show up for everything. So I really would love to, as a council person, see more people from our community showing up, which may mean reaching into the churches a little deeper and things like that. Into some of the communities, maybe some of the rental apartment buildings, spreading word out there. But I'd love to see more diverse participation in something like this.
You know what, Trish, I couldn't agree more with you. The thing that, and this is the reason why we did it at the par 3 instead of the main golf course. It's because
Exactly.
anybody can swing a golf club
Mm.
at a par 3.
Yeah, I like that. I love that. fact.
It does, and let me tell you, I'll be honest with you, I suck when it comes to playing golf, but I can manage the par 3, and anybody on this call can manage the par 3. So to your point, we certainly want to make a more diverse audience. My whole point, Trish, and it has been with everything that we've done, is to get more people involved that normally wouldn't be with the Heritage Center.
Right. Yeah, because I can't tell you how many people I know just in casual conversations have no idea what the center even is. So that's the goal, just to get the word out.
It's a sign up.
So is this something that we need to vote on to say
Yeah.
like we would like to go forward with this project?
Yes, I need that so we can push it to council to
Okay.
Trish's point.
Okay, all in favor of supporting Joe and the Heritage Center in planning a golf outing scheduled for May 20th, say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Okay. All right, well, that has been decided. Trish, I just had a question for clarity as far as asking permission from council, or maybe not asking permission, but their approval or blessing. Do you feel like our major fundraising initiatives should be put before council, or every event that we are planning?
I think, well, I know I'm coming from the AAC, being the liaison for the AAC, and we were expected and did for everything, even hosting a virtual bingo that costs $0. We still proposed it and gave it. We have a project form. It's a very simple form that can be filled out in 2 seconds, and I can email that to you if you don't have it already.
Okay.
But we just would send it in front of council and keep it in the council's packet just so they were aware. Because I'll tell you what, I had no, a lot of times being on council, we don't even know what's happening at the Heritage Center.
Okay.
But by having these proposals and these project forms, we'd have that awareness in front of us. Like, this is the time of day I walk my puppy. So, right now.
Thought you were being kidnapped.
No, yeah, a really unruly little Dalmatian here. So.
Trish, one question about that. As we've been rolling through different exhibits and different events that we might have, oftentimes now we're at a point where we do know about them ahead of time. Is it something where it's individual project plans, or if we submitted, say, this is what we're doing for the first quarter of the year, first half of the year, with a listing of some of those things, what's the best way to communicate that to council?
Okay, I think can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think that quarterly would be great for most of those things. And also, sharing it with the AAC as well, because, if I didn't go back and forth, the folks on the AAC would not know what was happening here. And Amy's been a really good voice connecting us in a lot of the projects. So hopefully that will continue, but having that, like a plan, attentive quarterly calendar would really be beneficial to the council and to the AAC.
Okay.
And to the AAC as well.
Okay. At this point, do we have any other? Yes. Trish.
This is kind of, as I was leaving from the AAC, a young man in one of our local Boy Scout troops came to us, and also through Representative Mark Curie's office. And some of you may be aware about a cemetery that's on Duncan Avenue. It's kind of between Duncan.
Oh, yeah.
Highway. There's a little cemetery, and supposedly, from what we understand, there's some graves of World War II, World War I veterans that have served there. The cemetery right now is not officially owned by anyone, We've tried to trace back ownership. Senator Lisa Ulrich from Senator McCurry's office has done a lot of work trying to get some more information. But basically, we have this young man who, as an Eagle Scout project, is proposing to create a rain garden there. And I was just thinking this is something that may tie in with the Northern Area Heritage. Maybe we can provide some kind of support. I'm putting it out there. I'm going to be talking to this young man here this week, and with one of the people on the AAC is going to serve to get some of this stuff going too. But obviously he's going to need money. He's going to need some support, some volunteers. But I just think it'd be a nice way to tie in a project of the AAC and the Heritage Center.
What kind of money is he asking for, Trish?
Well, he doesn't have any money. So his goal right now, he's going to probably approach Lowe's, et cetera, for like supply donations. Lisa was working, she has word in at the VA, with the VA, to try to get some funding to see if they may have something and a resource she can tap into there. I have sent a note out to the McCandless Community Association, because one of my goals as a council member is to work more with them as a nonprofit, because I think we can get more money into the town working with a nonprofit for some of these projects than we can as a municipality.
Well, the other organizations that I think that we need to talk about along these lines are the American Legion and the veterans. Okay. So, you know,
approach them, and I think she's gotten the best response from the VA so far. But we definitely, I'm going to be meeting with this young man to find out what his scope of work he wants to do. But I know when my son earned his Eagle Scout, he worked with a $10,000 grant from the PA Turnpike Commission and built something in North Park with some folks from Latotomy Nature Center. And then a young man came in after him and continued that project. So this could be something bigger with a little guidance from the Heritage Center, from the town, that this could go on for 2 or 3 years with these young people earning their Eagle Scouts and making an impact on this. Because I think it's an important place of history in our community, and I don't want to see it in disrepair.
I love that.
Mentioned,
Oh, go ahead, Amy.
I'll go quickly. Trish had mentioned too at the AAC meeting that Jamie Dean from Memorial Park Church has done a lot of history and pulling together information on the cemetery. And there have been various groups over the years that have done some of that. That could be something that the Heritage Center definitely could work with to, we have our binders with, focusing on the history for different areas and parts of the town. So we could do sort of a print binder. I would also love if any of that information we can digitize and upload onto the library's local history website, so that all becomes searchable. If there are any, old photographs, or I don't know, I haven't reached out to Jamie yet. I will do that to see what all she has that the church might have had, because it's sort of on the back end, adjoining property there, and they've taken care of it over the years at various different times. But that's definitely an area where the Heritage Center can help out with that, because we already have Heritage Center materials that the library has digitized, and then they're part of, if they are appropriate for the historic Pittsburgh site, we will upload them onto that site, which that site is then uploaded to the Pennsylvania site, which is then uploaded to the Digital Public Library of America, which puts it out nationally. And those records all have to be created with certain standards and parameters. But, we can certainly upload, typed up reports onto the library's website, but if we have specific items that can be digitized, we can get that up there at that national level. So I can certainly help out with that. And that could be a whole other Eagle Scout project. If you get someone who doesn't want to work with their hands, we can get them, if they're more in, into the technology part of it and doing the descriptions and the digitization. Then
That's exactly what I was thinking, that this could be, group Pack 329 there in Memorial Park is a very active troop. That's where both of my sons went through. And I see this as a potential that this could be, really a really lasting impact, much more than some kids' Eagle Scouts projects of building a bench at the church or something like that, just something really impactful for the community.
Great. And Amy, you kind of answered the question that I was going to have. The first thing I was going to say, though, is this is the exact thing that I think we want out of the Heritage Center, is for people who are getting their Eagle Scout or people who are involved with the community to be able to use us as a resource. And so I think all of us would agree that we'd love to see you send him this way, and we'll help however we can. And so the question I was going to have was going to be, how might we be most useful? But Amy, you kind of answered that. So with that, I think that's exciting. So Trish, once you talk to him, let us know, and we'll see what we can do. The other
meeting this week.
Awesome. The other thing I was going to mention, I know Diane and I have been working on this, but while we're thinking about students and their impact, Diane and I do a lot of the social media and kind of digital marketing for the FDPC. It'd be great to have an extra hand on that. So if anyone knows any students who might be a really good fit, my first thought was wondering if we could reach out to someone at North Allegheny, since we do have a large collection of North Allegheny materials, but it could be someone from, the larger Northern Allegheny region as well too. But that would help us really increase our capacity to be able to prepare and be able to market all of the good things we're doing.
To that end, Carolyn, perhaps what we ought to do is look at having somebody having a student position on this board.
Absolutely.
Simply because getting people to buy in from the younger generations. I mean, I think getting people to appreciate where they've come from and appreciate what they have goes a long way in keeping the legacy moving along.
Trish, what is the timeline for this Eagle Scout project?
Well,
due date?
I don't have it. I'll have to talk with Ralph, but the Scout project has to be done before he turns, the day before it. Like my son's, he got his Eagle the day before he turned 18. After you are officially legally 18 years of age, you are no longer eligible to be an Eagle Scout.
Okay.
So there is a definite deadline on this.
Okay.
I don't know when his birthday is.
Well, you're gonna speak with him, Trish. So
Yep. We're trying to schedule this week. We have Dale Glue from the AAC who's going to act as the chair of the project through the AAC. But I think this kind of project having support from many different angles is really going to make it worthwhile and impactful.
Can I bring up a new topic?
Sure.
I'd like, being in the at the center this January, I think that I didn't have many visitors on Sunday as usual, but that's okay. But what I was thinking is that being open to January 15th or 16th, if all we have is a Christmas display, is a little bit of a waste. And being the newly elected treasurer, I'm concerned about these things. So, but honestly, it is a little bit of a waste because we just had the Christmas display up, and I don't think too many people are going to rush in to see that. And so we might. I would suggest that in the future, if we're not going to put anything new up, maybe we shut down like January 1st.
I would agree with that. Maybe not like January 1st, the whole weekend after Christmas.
I think the weekend, yeah. I think the weekend of Christmas, there might be some people in town still didn't get to see it, might want to come by. But once we get into January, I think it's kind of like, a little passe at that point.
Yeah, everybody's over Christmas.
Yeah. But that's just a suggestion. So.
No, that's great because I compile information on volunteers and events and things like that, and so knowing our best practices and how we can improve them I would agree with that. I, for some reason, thought that we closed the week after Christmas too.
Mhm.
You know, like pretty close to the first of the year, but you know, maybe next year we do that.
Unless we want to put a new display up. I mean,
Right.
the other piece of news I have is my oral history class has been approved for not this spring, but the following spring, which hopefully I'll be able to get students to do some work on oral histories from this area.
Wonderful.
And I'm still trying to pursue some things. I'm just really, school year is very, very busy. It's just hard to do anything but. So.
Yeah. Okay. Any other upcoming events that need to be immediately discussed? No. Okay. So the next thing would be the annual appeal. Kevin, Diane, Carolyn, and I, along with John, have been working on our, oh, nope, that's not the right topic.
That's the next one.
That's the next one. Annual appeal. John, do you want to report on the numbers from the annual appeal?
As of this morning, it's raised about $895.
Great.
From 18 respondents.
From 18 respondents. Okay.
Yes. So we're kind of on track with the past one. I think we have more respondents this time.
Okay.
But I think we did about 1,100 last time. That was 2018. So.
Okay. I think maybe maybe this year is the year that when we do the annual appeal, people can give online and we see that number shoot higher.
I would hope so.
I hope so.
You'll need an answer from the bank.
Okay, so then our next point would be the 2021 end of year report, which is the document that Kevin, Diane, Carolyn, and I have been working on along with John. It shares a lot of great photos that we've taken through the year. It highlights our volunteer hours, the number of dollars that we've raised, different special events that we've done, new donations, all of those things. So we are editing that and then hope to have it to town council by their February 14th meeting. Along with that, I plan on writing a 2022 forecast on some things that we have been working on. And then Trish, now knowing that, you know, we'd like to be more communicative towards council in general, as far as our events and things like that, I'll definitely include our, we can include the information about the golf outing, Joe, by that point, hopefully, or whatever stage it may be in. And then any events that we have planned, along with our reopening exhibition idea. So anyone else on that little group have anything to add about the annual or the year-end report?
No.
No.
Abby, while you're talking about a 2022 forecast, once you have those materials ready to go, send them over to me. Like I said, Diane and I have been dealing with the social media. We can put together some graphics and be prepared sort of as we move towards the future to promote all of those things too.
Okay.
Yeah, when I'm working on it, I find it easier, like to do an entire month at a time, you know, once I sit down doing it. So the more in advance we have it, the easier it is.
Okay. Any other miscellaneous topics or comments?
Normally, this is where I talk a lot. I'm not going to do that tonight.
Were we going to solicit the public for the hats and accessories exhibit?
Not for the hats. We had plenty of hats in-house and then with our volunteers. My plan was we planned on doing a vintage clothing exhibition in the summer, and that would involve asking the public for loans or donations, and with the idea that, you know, they would bring their family and friends in to see the things that they've loaned on display. So, but not for this one here in the spring.
We need to have a cocktail party to go with that, to where have some folks walking around in the clothes, live action model.
Yeah. That's actually a great idea.
I'm just thinking the dress, the first dress my mother bought herself when she came to this country from in Oakland. I forget the name of the store, but it's green and I can still fit in it. So
Wow.
We
You
can do
already have the
Manhattan's
outfit
and
planned.
it's just
Manhattan's and mid children's.
1963. Yeah.
That's cool.
I want to see Joe and his bowler.
With Joe and his bowler.
You give me a minute. Wait a minute. If you give me a minute, I'll show you right now. No.
Or but this April and May, Joe, we'll be in seersucker and bowlers for the mid juleps. So.
You know what? It's a date. We're gonna watch the Kentucky Derby together. The most exciting 3 minutes in sports.
When is the Kentucky Derby?
It's
First Saturday of
weekend
May.
First week of May, yeah.
Oh, well then our hat display will be perfect for them.
Yeah, the only problem is we can't be sucking on libations inside of the Heritage Center.
Right.
Well, we
Put the
can
tents up outside.
we
That's what
drink
the
German
tent's for.
outside. I get the cheap seats when I go to the track, so I'm not.
So do I. I'm always on the infield. Always on the infield.
Okay, any public comment?
I think Amy and I have probably said enough.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I second.
All
Abby,
in
you should say all in
favor?
favor.
Sorry.
It's all
All
right.
in favor?
I will say
Aye.
real quick, we had a wonderful turnout for Winterfest up at the Heritage Center.
Yes.
That's true, we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why we haven't met.
That was
since
the-
then.
That was the best that we've done up there in a joint, part of a community. Well, community day we do okay, but some of the other things that we've done, we just didn't have good turnout. But this one we really did. So whatever the town did a little bit differently to get more people up there, it worked.
Yeah.
It was
I
great to
think
see the
they
pictures
just-
of the kids.
I think they just came up to get in their cars and our doors were open, we were lit up and they came in to get warm.
Yeah.
And I think we benefited from that.
We were sending folks up, and one thing we noted that our public works crew is working on is at the end of the ramp, it got muddy between the town hall and going into the parking lot and Heritage Center. So we're hopefully going to have that paved here before our next event. So so definitely want to do more in that whole town hall campus that we have and take advantage of everything we have.
So we'll have another Winterfest.
Yes.
Most likely, it was very well received. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I interrupted the motion.
I was going to re-motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks all.
Take care.
Ciao.